All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to the Last Place Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Ryan. I'm here with my co host, Josh, and it is week 7. Week 7. We missed last week. I was kind of down with the sickness, not COVID, but just sickness. But we missed last week, so we're kind of doubling up this week. We're going to cover a little bit of week 6, but mainly we're going to be focusing on week 7 and what's going on throughout the league. So, Josh, what games did you watch last week?
Well, first off, welcome to the Byepocalypse, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
I
This is when nightmares happen.
this is a rarity because I've never seen it to where like a team could be like, "Hey, like 80% of my team's gone,"
Yep. Yep.
and
It's happening. It is happening.
yeah, it's insane. And depending on some of your teams, a lot of teams did leave week 6. Looking at you, Los Angeles Chargers. That's actually the game I watched, which was obviously Ravens fan, Ravens Chargers. Literally the one outcome I did not expect to happen. But that just goes to show you,
Yeah.
like, Lamar by far is the Ravens' greatest quarterback they've ever had because he is
Yeah.
truly the first quarterback goes, he can literally turn like rotten lemons into lemonade, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And it goes to show what, a team can do when you build that team around one player and build that team around a soul, like the soul of that team. They've built their offense around Lamar Jackson. And it shows, like, all of their play styles, everything, play calling, all of it, their offensive line, the way their offense works, everything is built around him. And it works. It works. Like, it's hard to shut down that Ravens running game because it's so dynamic. It just fits along with Lamar. So it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I mean, that game ended 34-6. That was insane.
I Yeah, and I'm just amazed at how the Ravens defense shut down the Chargers. Like, all throughout this season for the last 6 weeks, Chargers have been just
On fire.
on fire. Herbert has just been a gunslinger, just killing defenses.
And
And
Eckler has been on fire
yeah,
too.
exactly. And neither of them did anything. They held him to under 200 yards or 200 throwing yards and one touchdown. And Eckler was held like, I think it was like 4 rushes or something for,
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
was.
how many yards.
I
It was
think.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look back at it again,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty
Let me look
sure
that up.
Eckler was 6 carries, 7 yards.
Yeah, it was crazy. It
Yeah,
was absolutely crazy how little he was a part of that offense, even in the throwing game. So
yeah,
it was crazy.
yeah. That
So
was
it's looks like Austin Eckler was 6 carries for 7 yards,
that's
and
just
he was
straight domination.
yeah, and he only had 4 receptions for 48 yards. So I mean, he literally did nothing.
Yeah,
Literally did nothing.
absolutely nothing. And Herbert 22 of 39, 195, 1-1.
Yeah,
Probably your biggest disappointment though, Keenan Allen 5 for 50, Mike Williams 2 for 27, and he
yeah,
did like get hurt like in the middle of that.
yeah. So the Chargers offense just, I think they just tripped and fell face first on their,
Yeah,
on that field. It was awful.
yeah,
But a lot of that goes to, a lot of that credit goes to the Ravens D. So
yeah.
smothered them.
And for sure, like I think like the sky's not falling for the Chargers whatsoever. I just think they came
Mm-mm.
into a really good team who's kind of been
I don't
here
think they were
around for
prepared.
a bit.
I don't think they were properly
Yeah.
prepared. I really don't.
Yeah,
So
I don't think so
yeah,
either. I mean, this goes to show, well, okay, Ravens with like your CVS laundry list of injuries, you're still like the
yeah,
top team in the AFC, which is bonkers to me. And that's one thing.
yeah,
Look, first 6 weeks into a year, if you were to tell me that the Ravens would be 5-1 and on a
And the
5-game winning
Chiefs.
streak,
Yeah.
that your only loss would be to the Raiders, but you
Yeah.
would beat the Chiefs, beat the Chargers, would not believe you.
Yeah. And
Absolutely wouldn't.
having the Chiefs be 500 right now, 3-3, that's nuts.
Yeah,
That's
that
crazy.
that's nuts.
Like
I mean, let's look at standings.
they were just so dominant last year. But I wholeheartedly think if the Ravens play every game like they played last week, they're definitely going to be at least in the AFC Championship,
Yeah,
at the
at
very
least.
least.
And again,
They have it
would
in
not
them.
believe you if you said if
Oh
you
yeah.
told.
But one thing I do say, I watched the Titans Bills game.
Crazy.
That was also a crazy game. I was expecting a blowout from the Bills, just to run over them. Their offense with Josh Allen again, he's just a great football player in general, and I was expecting him to just kill that Titans D,
But what
and
has
he did.
our podcast started targeting or started looking at? Derrick Henry.
Derrick freaking Henry,
Good Lord.
Derrick and King Henry. My gosh, he just he demolished. He was the edge that the Titans needed to overtake the Bills. He really was.
Have you seen his season pace after a Monday night's game?
No.
2,200 yards, 28 touchdowns. So he smashes the record and would be 3 away from the total touchdown record, which doesn't
I
seem
would love
far off.
to see that. I would love to see it.
Look, can we just say right now, Derrick Henry is I'm going to say it, he's the most surefire Hall of Fame player that we're seeing besides Aaron
Yeah.
Donald.
Oh, definitely. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got MVP this year.
Oh, with that, no, yeah, I
Like
think
if he did, yeah, he would get MVP.
yeah,
Definitely.
he's the only non-quarterback I say is a lock within the MVP conversation. I still would again, home bias,
Eckler might be in there if
maybe,
he
but
continues his stride
I think
throughout the season.
I think it's Lamar's like
Yeah.
award to lose, and that's also because of the injuries that team has sustained. But
Yeah.
what Derrick Henry is doing is just downright bonkers. And
Yeah.
Julio Jones
Exactly.
has literally played in like 2.5 games at most. AJ Brown's been hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Which AJ Brown, thank God you're alive. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, really.
Suck it, Tyler.
Yeah, man. But that game, Josh Allen did a great job of
Distributing
spreading
the
around the
ball.
ball. There was, let me look at my stats here. No receivers were above 100 yards. No receivers. Diggs, Sanders, nobody. 4 receivers with 5 or more catches, which is, shoot,
Insane.
that's crazy. And that's not just that's not targets, that's catches.
Catches.
So he was really spreading around the ball. He wasn't just targeting 1 or 2 people like normal. Normally it's Sanders and Diggs or his main targets. He was throwing to everybody. So
that game was the most like the Bills of last year.
Yeah, it was a solid performance. It really was. Just that Titans D came in clutch, especially that last drive. They stopped him on 4th and inches.
Did you think the fourth down call was a good call?
I think it was. I just wouldn't have gone with a QB sneak.
Okay, so
I would have rushed Moss. So
I've been wrestling with this because on one hand, I'm like, you know what? End the game now. I respect that. On the other hand, I'm also like, if you send that game into overtime, I don't know if that defense would be able to make it out alive. But then again, devil's advocate, does Derrick Henry get a fourth touchdown out of that? And
Exactly.
so that's where I was like, ugh, I don't know. I definitely, no matter what, I wouldn't have called that play.
Yeah.
And they've done something in the divisional game with the Ravens that I was like, they need to do this more. Is they do like this almost an empty backfield, but Josh Allen's under center. And the crazy thing about this is everyone's spread out, so you have to take account for like Diggs, Sanders, and
Yeah.
I think it was Cole Beasley. But you also then have to worry about Josh Allen rushing, so you're always in a numbers disadvantage.
Yeah.
That is what I felt like they should have done because no matter what, I think they would have scored then or at least
Yeah.
gotten the first down.
Or
But
better their odds.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I just wouldn't have gone with a QB sneak. Not right
Oh
there on with
yeah,
inches. You've
it's
got
all
Zach Moss, who's he's pretty good. Punch it down back. You know, he'd be good for at least a yard.
yeah, at least. But can we
So
talk about how like every primetime game has been really good this year?
yeah, yeah, they've showed up. They've really actually been prime time games.
Yeah, exactly.
So moving on to
Byepocalypse.
our next, yeah, moving on to our next segment, some NFL news. So between last Thursday and Sunday, I think it was Friday morning. Was it Friday morning or Saturday that Ertz was traded
That's
from Eagles to Arizona?
and that effectively ends Max Williams' season as well.
Yeah, yeah. Ertz is going to take over everything in Arizona. Ertz is just going to. I think it's going to better their odds of getting to the Super Bowl. So I think they're contenders
Oh,
this year.
without a doubt, and
They're
especially the
Kyler is just
slacking.
balling right now.
Yeah,
So
Kyler's playing unconscious. Like he is just
yeah,
out of his mind right now. But I will say, all right. So this is my little research project. I need to see what Arizona's doing differently
yeah,
because last year felt too much like a Cliff offense to where it's like screens, and you get a screen, and you get a screen. And this year, just it feels way for some reason, just like watching a little bit of the game, it just felt they were going way more north and south, like going way more vertical, and then running the ball like way more efficiently.
yeah,
I've never seen James Connors look that explosive in a long time, and then Chase Edmonds has been
yeah,
really good. So I need to research what exactly it is, but
yeah.
they're looking really, really good, and that
They
defense
are.
is nasty.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, they are. The Vikings picked them apart in what week two, but
Yeah, and
it
they're the only undefeated team right now. But
yeah. Like I was surprised that the Vikings did as good as they did against them. I mean, it was especially with their offensive line. Now this is weeks ago. The Vikings offensive line is not great. We gave up a lot of sacks and pressures in week one. But when we came up against, Arizona, what is it, Chandler Jones, and their defensive line just smothered whoever they played in week one, and came into week two, and they never even touched Kirk.
yeah,
Never touched Kirk Cousins.
and that's
So
where I mean, I think you and I talked about it. Like Christian Darrisaw, like that was his first real
yeah,
game action in a
yeah,
while, and then obviously week two, it's like, oh yeah, I see why you're a first round pick now.
yeah. And I'm
I mean,
hoping we can hold on to him. Oof.
oh yeah, oh the rise of KJ Osborne is another thing that's very
Oh
interesting.
yeah, I love that
Um,
guy.
yeah,
I see. I
I
didn't.
saw,
I didn't have high hopes for him his first year, but coming into this year, he's a great third string for us.
yeah, I saw him at Miami. I was like, yeah, he's gonna be in the NFL. And then I mean, Dalvin Cook, Schmalvin Cook, we'll see. It's been tough. Man,
Yeah,
remember how we said that you and I felt cursed having the first and second pick?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been tough.
I regret picking CMC. Oh,
All right, we're back at it.
I should have picked Derrick Henry.
For anyone,
I was going to, and I did.
For
I felt
anyone who's
pressured.
wondering, anyone who is wondering what's going on, go back to our YouTube channel, find our draft order reveal, and see what happened.
And see the very real
Yeah,
tears
and
on my face when I got the first pick. Just the amount of shock on my face. I was like, no,
yeah. And
I don't want it.
And what's wild is I should have picked Derrick Henry, but I went,
Yeah.
you know what? Dalvin Cook's younger. I played too much into my head. And I think that's the big thing with Derrick Henry is that you're expecting basically the clock to hit midnight and for him to be not an effective back anymore.
Exactly.
But no, it's not going to happen. Like, you just have to let this one, you just have to enjoy the ride, essentially.
Oh, man. And he's going to be, I'm laying down a prediction right now. He's going to be a top running back for the next 2 to 3 years. That's my prediction.
I could see 4 years, even if the fourth year is just not as effective. Like, at this point, like 70% Derrick Henry is still 1,500 rushing yards.
Like, he's AP at this point.
Yes,
he's Adrian Peterson.
That's the perfect example.
He has what it takes to have longevity. He has no injury history or no major injury history, and that man has. I honestly don't know how he's rushed like he has, and how much he has without getting an injury. Like,
it's because he's the biggest, baddest dude.
I know. I saw the post today, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I saw a post yesterday that I thought was so true. And I think it was from OBJ that he posted, like, man, Derrick Henry is the player in Madden that we all created when we were little kids. It was like OP. 100%. That was like a monster. And, that was just made to smash people and like just run downfield. That is Derrick Henry. Like, 100%. My gosh. He is just so dominant. And
if you want to bring up running backs right now, actually, there is a little bit of not breaking news, but it's definitely one to keep a look at when it comes to fantasy.
Yeah.
From good old sleeper alert, I am told the Chiefs, Panthers, 49ers, and Saints are among teams that have made preliminary inquiries for Colts running back Marlon Mack.
Ooh.
So this has been an obvious shoe to drop. Has been Marlon Mack, and I forgot who has him in sleeper, but someone definitely does have him. Saints make complete sense because they don't have a good number 2 running back. Yeah. Chiefs make sense because CEH is hurt.
Yeah, but Darrell Henderson has proven himself as a solid number 2.
Darrell Henderson is Rams.
Oh.
You're thinking of Darrell Williams.
Darrell Williams, my bad.
And he's done all right.
They're all
Panthers is the most interesting one because I thought Chuba's done all right, but that also signals something's wrong with CMC to where this may be another season-ending injury again.
Yeah.
And the obvious one here, 49ers, because 49ers, and the thing is like I'm kind of shocked the Ravens haven't been talked about here, but I think that
I don't think that they're wanting to do that.
I think they're gonna say we're okay with who we have right now, but I still don't feel very good about it. If the Ravens had Marlon Mack right now, it's game over. Like that's how I feel about if you have just another level of running back, it's over.
Yeah. I don't think that San Fran is in on it.
I think they have to be at this point. With how bad it's been.
They have a stable of good running backs that if they just invest in, they could end up being a great running back. But they just don't give him enough time to develop. They go, okay, you out there, you play 2 games, or like you play a game, and then they have somebody else that comes in and they, just swap them out. So I don't know. I think if they give him a chance,
There's quite a bit still we have to go through. It's been that kind of that
yeah.
crazy. All right.
So I was just going to dip into the Browns.
Good.
What's going on with the Browns, man?
Oh boy.
There is so many injuries right now that we need to talk about.
If I
It's
had
going
a
to be a rough
panic
week
button,
for them. For one, rough
Thursday
week
night,
because it is a short week. They definitely have Chubb out this week at
Kareem
least.
Hunt is out,
Kareem
confirmed.
Hunt is out 3 weeks on IR.
Dearness Johnson and Demetric
Baker
Felton
Mayfield is out.
Baker's out. Looks like
And OBJ is questionable. They do have the return of Landry, so that's good.
but then
They
your
at least have their
starting
number 2 wide
tackles are
receiver.
out.
So
Your
yeah,
start, yeah.
their offense is in a bad situation right now.
Yeah.
And they've got Case Keenum at the helm, which I think he's a good QB. I think he's backup,
But you can do a lot worse than Case Keenum.
Yeah. I mean, Case Keenum took the Vikings to an NFC championship.
That is true.
So,
all right.
I mean, he could be good enough
do you
to lead
want to know how long this list goes?
Yeah, I already looked at it. It's scary, man.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. Your starting receiver, your starting running back, your starting D end, your other starting tackle, your starting D end. Myles Garrett's gonna play. Your starting D tackle, your starting quarterback, your other D tackle. Oh no, Tech McKinley just looks all right. All right. Malcolm Smith is questionable. JC Treader, your center is questionable.
Yeah.
But a lot of people. So the thing is, I don't trust all the DMP reports going on right now because you're just getting ready for Thursday.
Yeah.
Jedrick Wills probably not playing. Mac Wilson's questionable. Denzel Ward has a neck injury. Oh boy, that could just be like, well, full participant, full. Here's who was limited yesterday: Clowney, Conklin, so they'll probably play. Myles Garrett was full. Malik Jackson's limited. He'll probably play. Malcolm Smith, J.C. Treader, and Jedrick Wills. Jedrick Wills will probably play.
Did we get to talk about Jakeem Grant, Stephon Gilmore last time?
I don't think so. Because
those are 2 trades that have happened in the last month.
Yeah, so Jakeem Grant really I don't think it's too much of an impact.
Yeah.
Gilmore for sure makes Carolina's secondary like insanely scary, but right now their issue is offense. Like I think that the CMC injury has reverberated to where it's affected everything to where like how
exactly.
Breaking news: Dallas Goedert removed from COVID list. By the way.
Yeah, I just saw that they reactivated him.
Yep, makes sense. Play Goddard. He is the only tight end.
Yeah, the only.
And dang, where are we going? Oh yeah, so Gilmore. So literally, if you think about the Carolina's corners, so literally when everyone's healthy, you have J.C. Horn, Gilmore, Bouye, and C.J. Henderson.
And I think group.
Which I think at this point they're like, look, we play against Tampa. Tampa's in our division, right? So you already have the 3 receivers, the tight end, everyone there. Thursday, Lenny, everyone.
Yeah.
You also they went through the buzzsaw of Dallas, who has not really been playing full strength because Michael Gallup's been on IR. And Michael Gallup, to me, is a huge step ahead of Wilson, who I can't remember if it's Albert Cedric, off the top of my head. But
Cedric, I think.
I think it is. I think you're right.
Cedric.
But what the issue was with Carolina's defense in that game was they said, "Oh, we gotta be careful about the pass." So then they got killed by the run game. What essentially the Gilmore trade does is you can now go, "Hey, I can man up on every single receiver Dallas has, and I can play big in the run game."
Yeah.
Like that move was specifically because of the Cowboys game.
Yeah.
So I think that does make him dangerous. The problem is if your offense is giving the ball away, it doesn't matter, and that's kind of
Yeah.
been the
Because it's going to
issue.
wear down your D.
Chuba is all right. He is no CMC,
No. He's
and
a good
that
backup. He's a good fill in. He's a good patch for CMC, but that's
yeah.
about it.
The issue is they, in a way, I feel like they need to start removing part of the offense from CMC. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying get
They
rid of
need to lean,
CMC.
they need to not lean on so much.
Yeah, because they're like, hey, CMC, we're asking you to do all this. Please save us.
Yeah.
And then the problem is CMC, who's been an Iron Man his first 4 years in the league, just bad injury luck. I don't think this is the cause of like overuse or anything like that because you're seeing Derrick Henry be okay, but also Derrick Henry is just an anomaly. But
It's a
what
monster.
but with CMC, it just feels like bad luck at this
Yeah.
point. Because I'm pretty sure like the ankle injury was one thing, but the hamstring's another, and it was a Thursday game too.
Yeah.
But at this point, again, Carolina's at the point where if you want to make the playoffs this year, you have to make sure CMC's 100%.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was on short-term IR does not surprise me. It does hurt though.
Yeah.
You're just kind of hoping that it's not bad to the point where you shut him down for the season again. Because at this point, how can you get a good look at what Darnold's going to be? Because you can see Darnold without CMC is not very good. And then DJ Moore has had a resurgence, which is great. Like your team is built and ready to go now, and
Yeah.
especially going into the next year, you just need CMC. So the problem is do you need to upgrade your running back in case he gets hurt to where it's like, hey, I I am looking at Marlon Mack because I know that unfortunately Chuba's not getting the job done. And if we can get, and basically it's like if CMC is 100%, can we get 75% CMC with Marlon Mack? And so that's kind of the issue. I know we basically did a whole Carolina Panthers like talk at the moment,
No, no,
but
no. It's good.
that's
We're
what
getting
that's
into it.
I think Carolina's aggressiveness is them realizing, hey, we have a playoff team on our hands right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that, I
With
think that's
Sam
what it
Darnold
screams to
at the
me.
helm, which is surprising. Sam Darnold at the helm, wouldn't matter. But he's been a good QB for them. I think he's just missing that run threat that CMC was. So I think they get him back or they get, a semblance of him, then yeah. Or the semblance of the effectiveness that CMC had with that offense, then yeah, I think they could be
Yeah,
a contender for the playoffs.
for
So
sure. And two
yeah.
teams, I guess, kind of in contention right now. If we go back to the Browns and Broncos game, this game's
Hmm.
gonna. I'm sorry, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't feel good about this game.
Yeah. And two people to watch, at least this week, are Ernest Johnson and Demetric Felton. I
For
think with
sure.
with Chubb coming back, I think if you're fantasy wise, if you want to invest, do Demetric Felton because he's going to take more of Kareem's job over
Yeah, I think Felton was.
Chubb.
I think
So
Felton was
Felton was
more.
involved in the pass game a lot.
Dearness was
So
the run game.
Dearness is a short down back, so or a short yardage back. I think Demetric Felton would be probably your best investment, um, unless this whole Nick Chubb injury gets extended for some reason.
Then yeah, because
He could get
Dearness
injured.
is your like saving grace.
Yeah,
Like I personally wouldn't play him this week, and largely
but
just
he's a
because of
good
the
one. Yeah, the usage.
yeah, the usage will be good. I also think he's just going to be facing 8, 9 man fronts at this point, just
Yeah,
because. Baker's out.
Yep.
And say if Odell doesn't play, then it's just Jarvis Landry, which, I mean, they've done that for so long, but everyone's hurt. Personally, I'm going to say it right now also because I'm kind of hoping it. This might be the breakout game of Javonte Williams.
Okay.
If this
Well,
game gets
say that.
out of hand, say if it's like 24-12, start of the fourth quarter, it will be the Javonte Williams breakout game. To where because he and Melvin Gordon have basically been dead even. Yards per carry, yards, attempts. Right now, they're either breaking all tendencies and keeping both of them healthy, or I don't know what you're like getting ready for when you drafted and traded up for this guy in the second round. At some point, is he your lead back or is he isn't? That sounded really weird to like come out of my mouth. Is he your start? Is he your future running back, or is he not?
Or is he not? Yeah.
And I think this may be the game where you figure it out and be like, hey, he is our guy. Because at some point it has to transition to him. Like to me, he's been the clear better back, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You can't
Even
just
though Melvin
keep
Gordon's
going.
done all right.
Yeah.
But
you can't just keep going back and forth on him.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta the Broncos just aren't committing. You know, they've invested a lot of money in their first, running back in a long time that's been decent, So they're just having a hard time committing to it, I guess. So it'll be interesting watching it.
It'll be very interesting, and they'll probably put
I'll have to see it
at 4-3.
Honestly, like I have to see it to believe it. Because I think they're just non-committal right now.
Yeah, non-committal on the committee.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a tongue twister.
And I don't know why offenses are transitioning to this committee back.
Well,
it's
I
not.
I think it's CMC.
But I just don't see it as effective because there is such thing as rhythm, getting into a rhythm, getting into the game, getting all of that, having somebody go in for 2 plays and then come out and then go back in 3 or 4 plays later, play 2 or 3 plays and then come out. So they're not getting into that rhythm of playing. So I don't know. I don't know why they get into this.
So I say without a doubt, I mean, here's the thing, like with how the game is, like everyone is just bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
So I think you are going to need multiple backs to just even sustain a game 100%. I also think you have to understand the anomalies. I think for Derrick Henry is the anomaly. I think for a long time, CMC was the anomaly as well until the past 2 years.
Yeah.
What makes this even more interesting is I think CMC basically confirms it in everyone's eyes. Like the Ravens, for example. I think they would have been okay with J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. Both of them got hurt. Now you have to do a committee.
Yeah.
Just because you just got no options at this point.
Yeah.
San Francisco is a definite committee because the problem is if you rely on one person, you're just going to get burned by it because they're getting hurt. And a lot of the running backs just cannot handle it anymore. And the only one who can is a defensive end who's a running back. I mean, I say that obviously Derrick Henry's a running back, but he's built like a D end. And that's where, he is literally
he's a monster that is a track star.
Exactly. And so I think with how the league is, it's all about, hey, you get a couple reps here, you get a couple reps here. But I think the whole 2 downs, 3rd round running back comes in. I think that should go away because at this point you're getting all the running backs who can do both.
Yeah.
And it's just not even worth it anymore. Again, that's at this point the perfect example of why I think Washington is so frustrating is that Antonio Gibson was a former receiver who turned a running back. How is he
Yeah.
not? How are you not using both him and J.D. McKissick,
Hmm.
considering Curtis Samuel's out, considering Terry McLaurin's your only receiver at this point? You have Adam
Yeah.
Humphries, yeah, you have Diami Brown. That also helps, but they're
And you
not
have,
Curtis Samuel.
yeah.
It's like, why aren't you using both running backs at this point?
Yeah.
Both can
Because
catch the
you can
ball.
use, I mean, shoot, you know how much you would confuse defenses and freak them out if you had both J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson lined up in the backfield, and then all of a sudden, shoot, you know, they're stacking the box. Well, then, boom, you line them both up outside, and
And
it's like
they
just
both can do that.
have
That's
them
what
go,
frustrates me.
oh frick, man, like we got to cover both of these guys now.
As
We got to throw linebackers on them or something.
as the
So
Antonio Gibson
yeah,
fantasy manager in our Dynasty Junkies league,
yeah,
nothing frustrates me more than basically forgetting the fact that Antonio Gibson was a receiver before he
yeah,
entered the league.
yeah,
Because perfect example, Buffalo gets takes a screen 73-yard touchdown. And it's like, look, Washington coaching staff, this is what you can do.
yeah.
And it's like at this point, those two are your kind of like best backs. Why not use them
They're
more?
well. I mean, they could also turn into a Chubb and Kareem Hunt situation.
Exactly.
Both
And
of them have the skill sets to be able to do that, and both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb pull out great numbers. Now I know that the Browns are a run first offense. I mean, has that worked out for them? Yeah, they made it. They made it into the playoffs. Last year, being that team. So I don't know. It could.
maybe it's injury because obviously Antonio Gibson is dealing with a shin/calf
But
issue.
it's been that whole year.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. And
this whole year.
the thing is like when you see what the Browns do, and then what you see what Washington does, they
Yeah.
both have two legitimate running backs, but they are not the same. And I think it's how you're incorporating it. And this is where I
Yeah.
kind of look back at Scott Turner and obviously like with the Carolina offenses, and it's kind of what they're doing right now in Washington. And at this point, you have to adapt. Like I think I'll be the first one to say it. Like something's not working, and I think it's just how you're incorporating your talent.
Yeah.
I think obviously Terry is a top receiver, and
Yep.
he's shown to be a top receiver this year. But right now, your best depth and your best usage are your running backs. I think you have to use them as receivers at this point.
Yep.
So like it to where it's you can't just put them in a box and just be like Antonio Gibson running back. No, Antonio Gibson, my offensive weapon right now because I have no
Yeah.
one else. And you can't just go
Exactly.
next person up, fill in, let's go. That it's not you're not going to win like that. And I think that's why Washington really hasn't won this year.
Yeah.
And everyone thought they would be a way better contender than what everyone thought, but I think that's
See,
part of the reason why it hasn't happened.
see, and that's frustrating because Ron Rivera had CMC in his offense
Mm-hmm.
when he was Carolina, and he's just refused to kind of take up a similar model, for a use in Washington.
But even then, treat CMC as the anomaly there.
Yeah.
They're like, oh crap, CMC is so good in both these aspects that we have to use them.
Yeah.
So look before Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams, Mike Tolbert. Those were your running backs. And maybe they would have rotated, but they were not being incorporated to where, hey, all three are a threat.
Yeah.
So in this case, like what Washington's doing, it feels more reminiscent back to then when it really should be, hey, pretend you have two CMCs on the field.
Exactly.
That's my rant for today.
Now they're not the skill level CMC, but
They are not,
they can
but
still fit the role.
exactly.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to Dynasty news. So this is just like what's happening around our league. We have a lot of
It's been crazy.
acquisitions,
Uh,
but last week, well, I should say this week. Don't mind my cough. Just getting over that sickness. Biggest blowout.
not pretty, that's for sure.
It was Ethan. He beat me.
Oh yeah,
He
how's it
beat
feel
me
now? How's it
bad.
feel? How's it feel?
He beat me bad by like 59 points. So
Yeah,
pretty
it
much
was pretty
60
bad.
points. It was bad. Yeah. I was in bye week heck. Yeah, so he beat me pretty bad. He had 193 points. Now that was the highest score for this week. So I do have to say that I wasn't beat out for no reason. He had the highest score this week out of our entire league.
You
So
also had this. You
yeah,
also had the second lowest score.
exactly. Yeah, I was
That doesn't
not
help.
great. That was not great this week. But I had a lot of issues with my team. So not making excuses, just explaining
Yeah,
why it happened.
we can move over to closest victory now. Just
Yes. And just so happens that both of us are involved in both of these. Yes, narrow victory. So the narrow victory was our very own Josh Richter,
ooh,
who won
upset.
and he upset our league leader, who is undefeated until this week. So he beat him 158 to 154. That was a close match, man. That was
That
close.
was and
You
that was
squeaked by.
yeah squeaked by. I'm pretty sure Tyler didn't even expect it either. AJ
None
Brown,
of
you
us
have
did.
returned. Welcome back, my son. He's my prodigal receiver at this point. But no, I'll say. I mean, I picked up Alex Collins. That was a huge thing. Carson Wentz is now becoming my starting quarterback. And if you see his last like couple games, it's he's been on fire. And I think they finally hit a groove in Indy. I think that might be a
Yeah.
team to look out for, especially Ty may not even play this week. So Michael Pittman is definitely a
Oh
potential
yeah,
like
pick him up.
yeah, no one can. I've been trying to trade for him for weeks. But yeah, happy to get the win. I feel better. I'm 2-4, along with your dad. Your dad
Yeah, my
being
dad picked
yeah.
up his second win
Yeah.
against
Here's
our number two. So that was good.
so let me
Some of
say
the
that
low. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. Let me say this. I may have accidentally woken up the sleeping giant.
Oh no.
That
What'd
being
you
your
do?
dad's team, because he did beat me last week, and I was
Yeah.
just like I kind of expected that to happen. It was just one of those weeks where you're just like yeah, there's no chance.
Yeah.
But what have we constantly said? Your dad was basically fourth in the league in points and was
Yeah.
0-3. At some
Yeah.
point, luck was going to reverse the other way, and that's basically what it has. He's on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And
He's doing good.
yeah, and I mean, that literally, if it wasn't for Ethan, that was the biggest like upset where it's like, oh, okay, all right, he's back
This
in.
week is gonna hurt him though.
Oh yeah, because he
I'm
had
looking.
Byepocalypse.
This is his bye week apocalypse. He's out. Josh Allen, Najee Harris,
Oh God.
Alan Thielen, or
Yeah,
Adam
Thielen's
Thielen,
out.
sorry. Adam Thielen, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh, thank
But
goodness.
he's out. He's out a lot of his good people, man.
Yeah. I mean, oh, LaVisca. I don't know if he's played
Jeez.
LaVisca, but he's probably
Yeah,
dealing with
no.
the biggest loss of Byepocalypse. I mean, he picked up
Yeah.
Garoppolo. He has Elijah Missile.
He's still
Um,
projected to win though.
yeah,
Because yeah, I think
well,
Alex is in the same position.
Yeah, Alex, because Alex has Zeke on by, Dak on by, Kirk
Hack
on
on by.
by,
Yeah. And
um,
Diggs.
Tony Pollard on by, Diggs on
Oh
by,
my gosh.
Seabass
And
on by.
Judy and Kittle's out.
Yep. So he's probably dealt with it more.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And CEH. Oh,
Oh
dude.
boy, that's
This
rough.
this man.
Oh, who
Oh,
else
he
is
is
dealing
on.
with
That just sucks, man.
who else is dealing with Byepocalypse?
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I'm hurting, but not that bad.
Yeah, I'm not that bad either.
I'm down CMC and Zach Moss.
I mean, you've been down CMC for years.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who was I down?
By the way, that's another thing to talk about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, jerk. You're just not gonna respond to my trades.
No,
I'm
I
down
denied
Dalvin
it.
Cook. Oh, did you just deny it? Okay, I
I
missed it.
denied it this morning.
Okay. Oh, come on. I
No,
definitely have
no,
put up a
no.
solid trade. I definitely put up.
Gus Edwards and Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
A
Look,
backup? No, you
no,
wanted a fifth
a
round
fifth
pick.
round in a future year.
Yeah, a fifth round pick in CMC for
Because
Dalvin Cook and Gus Edwards.
you want here's why. All right, you know what?
I don't
Okay,
need a
that's it.
backup. I don't need a
That's it.
backup.
We're gonna start with this. One, this man right here, Sir Ryan Traver the third,
What? I know what I
puts
got,
CMC on the trade block.
and I have
Now,
plenty of trade
apparently, now I
offers.
want to know if the someone offered me two first and Miles Sanders was true. But
Oh yeah, he did, and I denied him.
okay, here's why I think. All right, people listening. Here is why I think my trade's legitimate. Number one, Gus Edwards is an automatic 10 points every game. And the reason why is because he's in a run heavy favorite scheme with the Ravens, and he usually gets a lot of the short yardage work. Number two, I am taking on the injury baggage that is CMC, and giving him a healthy Dalvin Cook, I think warrants Dalvin Cook to be favored a little more over CMC, which is why I am only asking for a fifth round. And in reality, I should be asking for fourth round or higher because I am that basically if I get rid of Dalvin Cook right now, I have tanked the season. And so you have to understand that I am taking on the short-term IR for a
Okay,
potential gain in
okay.
CMC.
I will raise. I will take Dalvin Cook
Okay.
and someone other than. Let me look at your. I want to look at your players. I want to look at your players.
My
We're doing
goodness.
this trade right now. We're doing
Okay.
this, or at least I'll offer you something. No, I don't want to look at that. Okay, come here. I want to look at your team. Why is it not letting me?
All
Okay,
right.
let's look.
I have a couple options.
We're doing this on air right now.
Look, would Julio interest you at all?
No.
Okay, all right. I'll gauge it there. I didn't think so, but we'll see. Um, how about Tim Patrick?
Not as interested. Let me look.
Now I'll say this for all the fantasy football listeners: we have already ruled out Alvin Robinson. Hold on. All right. You know what? I am going to share my screen so everyone can see this. We are going to go to Traders list. I will take. Where did CMC go? Oh, there he is. So here is the trade, like on its own. It's at least Dalvin Cook for CMC. And so and then I was going to give him Gus Edwards. Oh, I picked the wrong team. So this is what the trade we had originally. All right, great podcasting as there was dead silence for 30 minutes. But I was going to offer Dalvin Cook and Gus Edwards. And for some reason, Gus Edwards did not show up on this list. There he is. I was going to offer Dalvin Cook and Gus Edwards for Christian McCaffrey and a 2022 fifth round pick. I think it's fair. However, Ryan doesn't
I have
deem it
something
so.
different.
Alrighty, throw the trade out right now, and
Don't accept it. Don't accept it. I'm just.
Okay.
This is a proposed trade.
Okay.
This is for us to talk about. Okay.
All right. So I will.
This is something that we can talk about.
I will propose this one. I'm gonna bring up yours just so we just have both of them on screen. So, podcasting purposes. Okay, he proposed a trade.
You can go down to the bottom to view it.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. Ah, here it is. How do you? Okay. Okay. I wish I could get this on the bigger screen.
So what do you think?
All right. First off. I'm tempted. I am very tempted.
You get Damian Harris and Christian McCaffrey. So a young running back and Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
And a 2022 third for Debo and Dalvin
Cook. So here's the thing. There is one major weakness to this.
Okay.
It's Damian Harris.
What about it?
So first off, I have to look at your team again. Because boy, I cannot remember. All righty. There are some options here. So here's my issue, right?
I'd be willing to replace Damian Harris for Mooney.
Gosh darn it, because that's exactly who I was thinking of. It was him or Corey Davis. Is I immediately went to my mind.
I'd be willing to give away Corey Davis over Mooney.
Well, obviously, but I love Debo. Debo has been my best receiver this year. So that's kind of hard to part with.
But you get a 2022 third.
Yeah.
and Mooney.
Yeah. So I think I need more if you're wanting Debo.
What are you willing, or what are you wanting?
Okay, so I would say either at this point with how Debo has played, at least a second.
On top of the third?
Not on top of the third.
Oh, second instead of the third.
A second instead of the third. Yeah, my bad. And now I gotta see my.
Okay, how about I swap with you? You take my second, I take your third
I don't
in
have a third.
2022.
That's the problem
Mm.
because I used it for a guy named Gus Edwards. Oh, golly, man. I'm trying to see if I can financially recover uh from losing Debo Samuel. Oh man, if I
You got Bobby Trees.
here's the thing though, like, are you really considering CMC to be that much bigger than Dalvin? Because I feel like
No,
that's the
I
crux of the
mean,
trade.
yeah, when he's active, yes, he's that much better than Dalvin.
Okay, all right. Well, if you took off Damian Harris and added Mooney and Ayuk, and then instead of the second,
And
we
no
do the
pick.
third, or instead of
If
the
I
third, we
throw
do
in Mooney, if I throw in Mooney and Ayuk, I'm not giving you a pick.
not even not even a future year pick.
I will give a 2023 fifth round.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. I'm going way off in the distance. Okay. So Dalvin Cook, Debo Samuel for CMC, Mooney, and Ayuk.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm okay
Okay.
with that.
Okay. So go ahead and actually, I just canceled it.
Okay, you canceled it. Oh yeah, look at my Michael Pittman trade that didn't go through. Oh look at.
Oh my
Whoa,
gosh.
wait, hold up. Oh, so all right, hold on. Let me stop my screen share. Sleeper went wild for a second.
It's like, wait, what?
Oh, because right
Okay.
now it's saying Michaela has Gus Edwards and Seams. We're gonna
Okay.
refresh the page there. Let it be known, everybody, that we
Okay.
are doing this trade live on air. Oh man, Debo, I miss you, man.
So you're going with Ayuk and Mooney.
Yeah,
Christian. Okay. CMC, Ayuk, and Mooney. And a 2023 fifth? Yeah.
yeah, 2023 fifth. That should be not this year, but next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Because 2022 is this upcoming year, this
Yeah,
upcoming draft. And then after that is the 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Okay. And then I get little D the bow, Dalvin, and Antonio Gibson. No, I'm joking.
I would fight you on the spot.
I'm joking. Okay.
Alrighty, everybody. Let me throw up this trade on the screen. Hold up. Why is this weird? There we go. Okay, we're back. So we are
So
making
what
this
the
deal.
heck?
Ryan is trading Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Darnell Mooney, and a 2023 fifth round for Dalvin Cook and Debo Samuel. I accept your offer.
Okay. Man, I hope this doesn't kill me.
I hope this doesn't kill me. What you talking about?
Okay.
Let's
I'm
okay.
not gonna.
Also, Jacob Duran, I'm really sorry. There's a reason why I didn't text you back saying if I offered Trey for CMC.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it up to review.
Yeah.
I'm
Ooh.
not gonna process trade.
Yeah. Don't process that.
Okay.
But
Well,
all right.
cool.
Okay, so let's talk about the trade. Here's why I feel okay with Dalvin Cook, and largely because
I
I
think this was
think
a pretty even trade.
I feel like it's pretty even. Debo has been
I
insane this year, like
Yeah, very good.
unconscious, and I think that's
Ayuk
real.
has just been a lame duck, honestly.
He
But
has been a lane. I think
I
in
think
the
in the future
future,
he'll get better. But I just
yeah,
need something right now. Like uh
yeah,
the loss of CMC was killing me.
yeah,
Like I've lost two in a row. So after going undefeated
yeah, and I
for
think
the first four
my
games.
issue with well, let me start with this. I think with Debo, yes, I miss. Dalvin Cook missed quite a few games already to boot. So to me, the injury, like in my mind, I'm like, well, I know CMC. Again, I think you're right on a level. Like he is far superior of a back to where,
Yeah.
okay, I kind of have to make the move. And plus, I can make it work without Debo. I mean not Debo, without Dalvin Cook. I've
Yeah.
done it already this year. I think Ayuk is a very future pick, but when it comes to receivers and Kyle Shanahan, especially with this second year,
Yeah.
I think Ayuk's okay. He still shows it that like, hey,
Yeah.
he has it. And plus, they're on the bye week this year. Who knows? He may even be taking off now, especially with Garoppolo and eventually
Yeah.
Trey Lance. Eventually, Mooney has been Justin
Mooney's been the
Fields.
leader. Yeah,
Yes.
Moody's been the leader in targets and catches and
So
yards for Chicago.
if you want to
So
talk about drafters remorse, this is what we're dealing with right now. Obviously, I have Dalvin Cook, you have CMC, but for me also is Allen Robinson, and that's where I'm okay with Mooney. If
yeah,
I can find a
yeah,
way to trade Allen Robinson, great. Because at this point,
yeah,
I've jumped off ship. I don't know if this is going to work out,
yeah. And I
especially
probably took the biggest L when it comes to the future. I probably took the biggest L in this trade, but I'm wanting to win right
yeah,
now. I have
exactly.
very young people on my team. I have a very hot team right now, but without CMC, I was really suffering. So I
Yeah,
needed another lead back that is the same age as CMC, is very effective at running back, is on a good team, very run heavy team, but also I get a good wide receiver, a quality wide receiver, and that's hot right now. So I needed to win now, and he's Josh is kind of wanting to win, like he's looking
yeah.
at his
Uh,
future.
so, and here's the reason why, because I initially was win now, and I really thought my team was win now. Like obviously, Dalvin Cook is your first pick, and then you go AJ Brown, who in the beginning of the year looked really good, like to
Yeah,
the where it's like, hey, he can have a big year. Then the Julio Jones trade happens, and I'm like, you know what? I still think it's okay. Then obviously Antonio Gibson, that was for
yeah,
me. I felt comfortable with, especially how last year was. Fourth round pick is Allen Robinson. My fifth round pick was ETN. My sixth round pick was Julio. To be honest with you, I think I may have missed on all six. And the biggest reason, Dalvin injuries. When he said he's hit, so that one's okay. And AJ Brown injuries finally came around Monday night.
yeah,
Antonio Gibson injuries, but when he's gotten the chance, he's done good. So my running backs have been okay. Allen Robinson, I have no idea. no amount of research would have been able to tell you, hey, Allen Robinson's going down this year. Like he's busting this year.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even hit he's hit 10 points. And this is a guy who you expected to get 15 to 18 points out of every game. And not getting the target share and just not getting looked at whatsoever. Mooney is the true number one.
Yeah.
ETN out for the year. Julio Jones just hurt. And so for me, who I thought I was win now has immediately turned into, oh crap, I need to look at next year. And let's not even forget, I traded a 3rd-round pick in Tony Pollard to get Gus Edwards, who tore his ACL right before. And I think if I would have been far more okay with this trade, I probably would have pulled the trigger on this trade like 3 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
If Gus Edwards was still playing. But obviously because of how I've been dealing with, even though I'm 2-4, like I'm slowly on the rise, I feel okay doing this during Byepocalypse and still coming out on top.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing Philip.
And this helps me a lot when it comes to my depth at running back, and and at wide receiver, really. Because like really the only quality wide receivers that I have are Godwin, Jamar Chase, and Cooks. But Cooks has been hit or miss the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Cooks has been hit or miss, but that's kind of what you expect of this Houston offense.
Yeah.
I think Chase, I give you props because you called your shot and he's basically done that for you.
Dude, I took a long shot on him.
And he's worked out. And it's worked out. Yeah. Godwin is sad, honestly. Yeah. Godwin is the one I was like, that kind of stinks.
But yeah, he's kind of been iffy because he hasn't been getting touchdowns since week 2. So
and I don't mind having the 2023 5th-round pick as well, because again, you never know. That's what we all said about James Robinson.
Stockpile your picks, man. Stockpile your picks whenever you can.
Well, everyone, you just saw a massive trade go down.
Yep. And there will probably be people on here. We'll talk about it next week. They'll probably get on and comment. This trade will go down on Sunday. Whoop whoop! Just in time for the games. So I'll make sure I don't have any of my Thursday players.
And I'll say, like, the thing for it's like, why are you taking Christian McCaffrey when he's been hurt seriously twice in 2 years? And it's just because when he's healthy, you always have a chance to win your league.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. Literally here's the crazy thing. Within the 2 years, he has played and missed games. All the games he's played in, he's hit over 30.
Yeah.
That's why you take him. And because no matter what, like, I have to go for it. And especially when you do have a piece that you kind of realize, hey, this could potentially work in a trade, you kind of have to take your shot.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think you're gonna close it out here.
That is, I was about to say that is
it's probably a good ending to our channel right now.
Yeah, that is a good ending to this week's episode. For one, every fantasy player, good luck with Byepocalypse. It has been an interesting issue. Oh yeah, Dalvin Cook's on bye this week, so you can't even use it.
Yeah.
So good luck to everyone there. But thank you all again for watching the Last Place Fantasy Football Podcast. Again, we will do some wild stuff on here. So I am Josh. That is my co-host Ryan. We will see y'all next week. Hopefully y'all aren't in last place like I am.